Welcome to part 2 of the how-to video for Google Slides and Pear Deck add-on. So in part 1, we learned how to make interactive slides using Pear Deck. In part 2, we're going to see how the presentation portion works. So in the top right, you'll notice where it says Start Lesson. So I'm going to click here, and it gives me two different options. The first option is a student-paced mode. So this means the students can work on their own, they can work asynchronously, and this is great for remote learning right now, but also even in the classroom where the students are working at different levels and at different paces. Right now, I'm going to use the instructor-paced activity. So this is more of a direct instruction where I'm making sure the students are on the same slides all at the same time, where we can have classroom discussions. So I'm going to use the instructor-paced activity right now, and it pops open a new tab. And on this tab, this is what I would present to my class on the projector. So it pops up with a code. Each code is different for each Pear Deck, and if I were to do this again with another class period, I would have a different code for them. So on the screen, it tells the students to go to joinpd.com and then type in the code. Now I've created another tab so I can type in that code. So this is what it looks like when the students go to joinpd.com. And I'm going to type in the code. And it takes me to a basic, how are you feeling today? Let's do a smiley face. We're feeling good today. And it's going to load the first slide of my presentation. So this is my student view. So this is what they will see on their screen. Now let's go back to the teacher view. Since we've now had a student join, it says one student connected, and we're now able to start the class. So I clicked Start Class, and I'm going to go to my second slide. So again, this is my teacher view, and I pre-made this interactive slide that says, have you heard of Pear Deck before? My students will see this screen, the exact slide that's projected on the board, along with a multiple choice option. So yes, I have heard of Pear Deck before, so I'm going to click yes. So on my teacher view, and if I move towards the bottom, it tells me the number of responses. So it says 1 of 1 responses. If I had more students, I would know how many have responded. If I want to lock their screens, I don't want them to be able to switch their answers, I can click Lock Screen. And on my student view, this pops up. Your teacher has locked responses for this slide. So it does not let them change it. This is really helpful when doing formative assessment and you want the students to not see someone else's answer and change it. So back to my teacher view, once they've locked the screen, another option that I have is to show the responses. So I can show up on the board who selected what. It does not attach their names to it, but at least I can see a majority selected one answer versus the other. Now, let's move on to the next slide. Now this one we remember was a text answer. What is the name of your pet? So I'm going to go to the student's view, and it gave me a text box. So what's the name of my pet? My pet's name is Lucky. Lucky is a cat, and I was able to type it in. Now again, back to the teacher view. I can lock the screens if I want. I can also show the responses. Now when using the text view, it does produce all of the text responses, but it does not put the names of the students along with it. So I can go through, I can hand select certain ones that maybe I want to talk about in a discussion. So it does not project the names for other students to see. Now, one other option is there is a dashboard view. So if you have the premium version of Pear Deck, the premium version allows you to see at that time which student said which response, and you can see the names attached. Now, typically you would not display that for all students to see, but if you have a second device, it can be very helpful. So next, if I want to use this drawing tool, on my student slide, it says draw a picture of a star. I can hand select all the different drawing tools, colors, size, if I want to erase, use text. Let's just do this here, pick the color. We're going to draw a star, okay? So now let's go back to the teacher view. Again, I don't see anything, but I'm going to click Show Responses. And there is the star that I drew. If you have multiple students in the presentation, you would see a list of all of their results. Now I'm going to hide those responses again, and I want to also point one thing out. Now this is really helpful for if you're using the self-paced mode. Now in the bottom right, see the headphones here? This is along with that audio included. So that's one thing you do want to point out to your students. It's easily missed for sure. In this bottom corner is the audio. This is that audio that I had already created when I was creating my slideshow. If I click it, I can press play and I can listen to the audio. So maybe I was telling information about the star, or maybe I was giving directions about the type of star to draw. So the audio is definitely an important feature to add on. Now, let's say I'm working on my slides. I'm going to go back to teacher view, and we're in a class discussion, and I realized that I still had another question to ask, but I didn't necessarily prepare it ahead of time. It came up in the discussion. One really nice feature about Pear Deck is that you can make impromptu questions. So I can click on this button that says New Prompt, and in the middle of class, I can ask another question. So maybe I want to ask a multiple choice question. It automatically creates a new slide into the presentation where the students will now see. Now this one automatically came up with, do you feel comfortable sharing your thoughts out loud right now? Yes or no. Now there's other questions that you can add and a lot of different options that you can explore, but these are great for even a thumbs up, thumbs down type of question, just to get that formative assessment and make sure everyone is on the right page or going the way that you want it to. Now again, I'm going to go back to teacher view one last time. And now that we are done with our presentation, I'm going to go over here where it says end. Now, I have the option of naming it. So let's name it test 1. Okay, and I'm going to click save and end session. So when it's all done, if you have the premium version, you do have an option of sending takeaways to your students. So the premium option does allow the students to have a copy of all of their responses that they placed along with the slides themselves. Now, in this great program, it really is helpful for that formative assessment. My school is lucky enough to register for the premium account, but even if you don't have the premium account, there still are a lot of good features about Pear Deck that you can use for free. So I highly recommend this program, and I hope you enjoyed learning how to use it.